some of this presentation in the past, but I think some of it will be new and has been revised since you attended the member orientation in the past. So this is how people can find companies on our business directory. And this is obviously information about becoming a member. This is the latest information that we have on Restore Illinois. So you guys have probably all seen that already, basically phase 4 guidelines. So as soon as we get new information, we always post it right here for all of our members and all the community. We've been really providing a lot of support and resources to everybody, members and non-members. We feel it's an important thing to do, is to help everybody right now. And I don't know how sustainable all of these resources are going to be for non-members in the future, but we've taken the stand to kind of bring everybody together and help as much as we can for everybody. So members can post local savings, and these are coupons and things that you're offering at your own store, and that can be added under the member portal. And then news from our members. This is any kind of news from McHenry County, the community at large. So members and non-members alike. So this is just updates and things that companies and organizations have told us that they're doing, that we're trying to put out the word to everybody.
Lisa, can I interrupt you for a second? How would we provide information for that news blast that you were just showing?
The new for this one? Okay, so what you would do is you would simply email us. There's a couple different ways. You could email us with information and say, hey, can we have this added to the news from our members? And then also you can go under the member portal. Let me move this thing over. All right, member. Okay, so this is the member portal home. Mm-hmm. So once you're a member, you'll have access to all of this. And what you could do, again, just email us, but also you can submit a press release, but you can also do a media update and submit an event. So if you're talking about maybe an event coming up, you can do it through here, submitting an event, and you just fill in this form.
Okay.
And then you always have to make sure that you hit submit and save at the end. And then what will happen is that will go to, probably go to you, right, Nick? Yeah, it'll go to the info@CL Chamber, and then he'll have to review it and pull it through. So it's not immediate. None of the changes are immediate. But yeah, and then the other way is if you email Nick or I or Donna will put it up in the news from our members and news from McHenry County.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Nick, Lisa, either one of you, this question. So like, let's say I had an attorney who was going to be hosting a meeting much like this in regards to estate planning. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do it on Wednesday of next week. Right. And I was going to send it to you today. Is that enough lead time? Would you suggest longer, shorter?
I'll let Nick speak to that.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, if you send it to us today, Donna will have it on our website. It'll be on our calendar.
Yep, let me show you the calendar.
Yeah, by the end of today.
I love your calendar, Lisa. You know that.
I know, the calendar.
Finally.
Yeah, the calendar rocks. Way better than it used to be. So this is under our homepage. So let's move out of here just so I can show you guys for people who are non-members. But the member portal is amazing. You guys can do so much stuff under the member portal. Oh, I did want to show you guys one thing though, so I don't have to go back there. The member portal, we have this whole new program that we rolled out, the compliant program. And I don't know if you've heard of it. It's been available for a couple weeks, but essentially the intention of this program is to make people feel comfortable to come back into your store, to come back into your office. And we have different logos. You can click on here. And again, this is for members only, but there's all sorts of different signs that you can choose from. And you just print it out at your office or and then just put it on your door, tape it on your door. And it's just another sign to say, hey, we're open, we're working remotely. But these are, of course, you can use these digitally as well. So if you wanted to use these on any sort of email blast or anything like that, you can use those too. So lots of different choices there. So that's just one of the little member benefits that you get that was just recent, last 3 or 4 weeks. So let's go back to the homepage though, because I did want to show you the calendar because it's full of lots of information. So this is some of the other information on here is great, but if you go to the chamber calendar, you can go to both the chamber event calendar and the community, but now they're combined into one calendar, which is fantastic. So there is a filter option on the left. So if you wanted to just see the chamber things, you can look at that. If you wanted to see just community, you can look at that. But right now, everything is combined. So once you submit that, Kim, then it gets accepted, then it would be put onto the community calendar. Okay, so if you wanted to see all the community things, you would go there. Okay, so does that answer the question?
Fantastic, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. So this is local stores open during COVID. Again, we're keeping that updated whenever our members and tell us with updates, we're updating that. This is COVID updates for businesses, which we'll go into in a second because that is where we're going to be looking around for the toolkit in there in a second. And then the restaurants. So we've been spending a lot of energy on supporting the restaurants from the very get-go. So any restaurant that has outdoor seating, we're asking them to, if we don't already know about it, contact us and let us know that you guys are open for outdoor seating, because then we're updating with approved for outdoor seating. So people can find that easier as well, okay? So this is our community guide, which is fantastic. It's available digitally and also in print. So when you guys have a moment, you can check that out. This is iShop Crystal Lake. So this is a program run through the city that we partner with them. And again, it's just another program to help support local businesses. And this is the magazine that we produce ourselves. And that has a lot of great information as well. And that's produced monthly. We always have a member spotlight every week, so that changes weekly, and that is another free benefit for being a member. We just choose them randomly, and then you get to have all this nice little description, your website, your phone number, hyperlinked directly to your website. So that's included in the membership. And that's pretty much all that I want to show you on just the general homepage. This is another, we kind of covered all of those already. COVID-19 business resources, we'll get back to that in a second because we're going to go into the reopening toolkit is in there, right, Nick?
Yep.
Okay. News from our members, what we already covered, member spotlight we covered, magazine, video, and then submitting an event. So just like under the member portal, you can actually go under here and submit an event this way as well. So you don't, but it's going to make you log in anyway. So you can go in either this way or under the member portal. Our chamber, this kind of just tells you guys a little bit about who we are, all of the different opportunities that are available to get involved with, because it definitely is a partnership. We have the platform, we have the followers, we have, 3,500 Facebook followers, we get 10,000 unique hits a month on our website. We have an Instagram account, so we have a huge audience to help you guys promote your businesses, but you're really going to get more value out of the membership if you become involved in any just small way, even an extra 1 hour a month to jump on a call or attend one thing. It's going to help you guys elevate your exposure so much more. And it's all here for the taking. You just have to decide kind of what fits best with your business and your schedule. So these are all the different networking groups that you can be involved with. We also have the young professionals and the women empowering women. Where are they now, Nick? Are they in another tab? The Women Empowering Women is another really.
They're under.
We're revising our website every week. It seems like we're always constantly improving. So, okay, so this is about joining the chamber, and this is just the application, but this will tell you a little bit about member benefits And, oh, that's not working right. We are revising that, I think, as we speak. Bill's probably working on that right now. And, all right. Okay, so let's go back to I want to talk about some of the resources, the COVID resources. I know we're all a little tired of COVID and all this stuff, but I think it's important to talk about how we can reopen and how we can, we have a couple different things that we've made available. All right, so let's go this way. Is it going to be under here? The toolkit?
Yeah, it will be in there.
Okay. All right, so basically we have the phase 4 here. We have City of Crystal Lake, the grants information. The toolkit is right here that we'll go into in a second. So we have preparedness guide. Again, we've been updating this the whole time, but anytime we have things that hit directly to the businesses, that's obviously our focus. This is where we're going to put it. So this is one thing that we had, I think is huge. And the toolkit is great, but also this checklist is amazing because essentially it's a lot of the work it may not exactly fit to your business, but I guarantee you at least 75% of this will. And this is something we had done 2 months ago, I think it was like
Beginning of May.
Beginning of May, okay. So this was done in the beginning of May, and essentially what we did was just compile a lot of information that we've seen around other chambers and other businesses, essentially just to give you guys a checklist on literally, okay, these are the things I need to think about. So instead of figuring it all out on your own, and the process is laid out, it's basically kind of a roadmap on how to be prepared and the things that you can think about for moving forward. And the one thing I've heard, actually last week I heard this in the call and I thought it was really good advice, is I think it was Think Big, Go Local had said on a different call, you know, if there's one thing that you wish you had had before coronavirus, there's one thing you feel like, oh man, I wish I had this in place, or I wish I had done this. That's the one thing you guys should be focusing on right now. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to recreate the entire wheel. Use this checklist because it'll help you think about things that you haven't. Just like insurance or suppliers or anything. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because you guys can look at this on your own. But it really helps you just take a very detailed and kind of broad view of your business operations. So I think this is going to be very helpful for you. And then just focusing on that one thing that you wish you had had in place before coronavirus, because I guarantee you're probably going to need that thing again. And I think for most of us, it was probably the working remotely and having these virtual connections. I think that would probably be that's what I keep hearing from members. We had it in place well, the week coronavirus happened, I think we were already on our way to signing up for something. And we did it really quickly and we made it available to all of our networking groups. So essentially none of our networking stopped. A lot of our programs and our events that we were running, the smaller ones, of course, they didn't stop either. Women Empowered Women kept going. We just did everything virtually. And it was needed, but it was great that we were able to change so quickly. And then we happen to be using Microsoft Teams already, which is a cloud-based software where you can share files and video chat and almost have like a shared network of different folders. So that was huge for us because we were still able to all work and function, collaborate at home when we were all separated. So that's something for you guys to think about too. There's a lot of different software out there, but we just happened to choose Microsoft Teams probably, I would say, a month before coronavirus.
Yeah.
So we were just, we were learning when we were, all separated, but we had the background kind of infrastructure in place already. All right, any questions about any of that before I jump into the toolkit? No? Okay. All right. So this is, check my time. Okay. So this is the reopening toolkit. And essentially, you guys can, again, look at this on your own. It's very long, but it's very detailed as far as what it provides to guidelines. And then it talks about different industries. So what I'd like to do is, where is restaurants, food service, and 3435. Okay, I'm just going to kind of skim through this. You guys can see general recommendations. A lot of this is going to be familiar to you already. You probably have seen some of this. Some of it is going to be communicating to your employees and your customers. I think it was an important point that Dylan brought up, is that you want to make sure your customers feel safe and they feel comfortable, and they have a good experience. They have a good feeling when they're at your restaurant or business, because that's going to keep them coming back, and it'll just make everybody feel slowly coming back and you know, kind of welcoming. So this is, again, this is going to be repeat from what you guys have probably seen elsewhere, but it's just a really nice compilation of all sorts of information and data. So let's
Lisa, while you're
yeah.
scrolling through that, if I could,
Yeah.
are you guys hearing anything in regards to the recent surges in other areas?
We haven't personally, not that I'm aware of, no, because I think Illinois, you know, we've been cautious, and I know it's been frustrating, but it seems to have been, our numbers are still low and compared to other states.
Right.
So right now, it seems like what we've been doing has worked.
But we're about to undo all that tomorrow.
I know, and we're about to, so I think if we do hear it, Kim, I think we'll probably hear it in about 4 weeks. I don't think it's going to be something we'll hear for a little bit. And I think if we're all just, you know, careful and cautious, but we're in a weird situation because we wanted everyone to be safe, but we're anxious, of course, for everything to reopen and get back to
Sure.
you know, our new normal. But you do have to be careful and cautious. So yeah, I don't think we're going to hear that for a little bit, right? Because I don't think if people start getting sick again, it's probably going to take a few weeks. But I do really feel like a lot of people have been taking the precautions seriously, at least the businesses and restaurants. And I also think it's not going to go away, you know, anytime soon. So I think we're all going to have to kind of live with it somehow and try not to spread it, I guess. So, you know, we're all still learning too. Okay, so food service.
Done.
I know, and I'm not trying to make light of it by any means.
No.
I'm.
Sometimes you still have to maintain a sense of humor.
Yeah, you do. You just kind of have to roll with it to a certain degree. It's just uncharted territory, you know. I mean, none of us have been through anything like this in our lives, so it's just. It's wild. Okay, so this is the food service, bars, restaurants, and so this will kind of speak to a little bit more of what Mookie's can do. And again, you probably already have seen all this, Dylan, I'm sure, but again, this was all put together, when did we put this up, Nick? Probably
May 8th.
May 8th, so the beginning of May as well.
Yeah, no, we've looked at everything, and we're always very cautious about like everyone. All my employees are always wearing a mask, and also like gloves. I don't like my employees wearing gloves, essentially just because they're handling everything. But so in standard, I don't know if anyone knows this, but in standard in kitchen or in restaurants for Illinois, what you should do is every 45 minutes to an hour, you have to wash your hands. So there's always a timer in the kitchen or anything. What I actually make all my employees do now is every 20 minutes you have to wash your hands, no matter what. Like you drop what you drop what you do, or like drop what you're doing. Like if you're making drinks for a customer or whatever, you drop what you're doing, wash your hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
go. And
Good
that's
practice.
it. So
And-
it's it's a little anal, but the thing is, though, it's making sure everyone's like protected. That's my biggest thing. So
Yeah. And you know what I do? I think that will help your customers feel safer too, because they'll see you guys washing your hands all the time. And
Yeah.
I think we've all had to learn to be a little bit more patient because now there's longer lines. I know you're laughing,
yeah.
right? Because I don't think it's easy for people to be patient, but I feel like everybody's like, oh my gosh, oh wait, okay, there's a long line because of coronavirus or this. You know, you kind of have to go, okay, you know, I guess I just need to relax and wait because I'd rather be safe than, you know, have them run around in a hurry and expose anybody. So
Yeah, I will say that there is a lot of people that have learned to be patient, but there are still some people out there that want everything right away, which it's totally fine. I get it. I have a tough skin. It's all good.
Yeah,
But
you have to. You're in the restaurant industry. You definitely have to have the tough skin. So yeah, and it's just perception, you know, and expectations. I mean, it's
exactly.
in managing those, you know, and I think if people know, and it's almost like you want to over communicate what you're doing because that way people
Right.
hopefully will not get annoyed because they'll realize, oh my gosh, okay, they're doing all this extra stuff now. Wait, yeah, that's going to take a little bit more time, you know, so
Yes. Yes.
yeah, so. All right, well, so this is kind of, you guys can look at this on your own. It is a very long document, but it is full of a lot of great information. What I want to do, because I want to, we're looking like we're a little bit over time. So I want to just quickly show you some of the other benefits that we offer to our members. And some of these are, basically we have, this is the great event that's happening this weekend. And again, I know Kimberly had mentioned it that, it's all going to be undone this weekend, but this is the grand reopening, which is very exciting. I know it's a little scary, but it's really going to be hopefully a great thing where everybody can kind of go back to, you know, their businesses and reopening. And this is, we're sponsoring it with, it's really a program run by the city, but we're helping to sponsor it. So this is happening all weekend and businesses are reopening. And this is just regarding advertising that was available, but they're going to be doing an insert in the paper. So that was that. Fast Signs, this is a complimentary banner that's available to members only from Fast Signs Crystal Lake. So you can get your complimentary banner. A lot of members have been using this to get a banner that says, we're open, come in, welcome. So a big sign in front that tells everybody that they are still there and they're still open. So that's cool. We have information also about cleaning from Image One, that's one of our members, of different types of cleaning products and how to actually accurately clean, truly disinfect things. So this is something we could send to you guys if you're interested. Office Depot, we have, this has been a long time discount for members only, but you can actually save through Office Depot, through your store purchasing card, which is a benefit of being a member. And then this is just another little information about Office Depot and the Small Business Savings Program. Okay, so it's a little bit of a breakdown on the savings you get for that. And then we already talked a little bit about the grand reopening, and this is a newer member that he does the plexiglass separation, plexiglass things for customers. So if anyone needs that or is interested, he can help you with that. Okay, so I know we went through a lot of information. There's a ton of information on our website, so please check it out, take advantage of it. Do you have any questions or concerns or anything that I can help you guys with before we end?
I was just wondering if you had any feel for whether the downtown businesses are going back to their pre-COVID hours, or if some people, I'm not talking about the opening weekend, but like during the week, are any like cutting hours to first see kind of how things go?
Yeah, some of them are running kind of staggered hours. And I think they're doing that because of the capacity levels that they're required by the state, but they also have to consider how many employees they can have at the same time. So some of them are running staggered shifts as far as employees being in the building. And for us, we were doing a little bit of staggered hours just because we didn't want to have everybody necessarily here all the same hours every single day. So yeah, some of them have offered limited hours up until this time, but I don't know, Verdine. I think they're probably just going to have to figure out what the capacity, especially for restaurants, they're going to have to figure out how many.
Right. What I was.
Resources page,
Mhm.
the top link.
The top link. Okay, so Nick just said this one's the updates for businesses. All right, cool. Let's check this out. So Nick, you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so this
Right.
link we just added this morning. It's for restaurants and bars.
Oh,
And it does a good job of outlining capacity restrictions and how spacing is supposed to work. There's a graphic towards the bottom that it's the clearest I've seen
Oh, that's
of
cool.
this
Yeah.
layout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I think what I had in my mind, and maybe I didn't express it, but I was just wondering what the feeling is as far as retail, whether you had a feeling at all for, are people really ready to start quote unquote shopping?
Hmm.
You know, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kimberly's like, yes,
I'm ready to shop.
Kim's ready to shop.
Take my money.
Yeah, right. I know.
All right, so you're ready to shop and buy. There's a difference between shopping and buying. Believe me, I get a lot of that at the store.
I know, right? Well, you got to go to Kismet, Kim. You got to go spend some money. She's got really cute stuff there. Yeah, it is. I think right now, people, what we're hearing is that people are very anxious and frustrated because we hear from the business owners mainly, right? But we hear from a lot of people in the community as well because we're
Sure.
kind of connection between both. But I feel like we've heard a lot more from the business community because we just opened our doors. I think last week we opened for the first time to the public. We haven't been getting a lot of visitors compared to what we normally do. So the community does seem a little bit apprehensive,
Right.
but the business owners are super excited to open. So I think they're itching and impatient, ready and wanting to open their doors, but the community, it does seem a little apprehensive. And that's why that compliant program, I don't know if I still have it pulled up here, but the compliant program was really something we felt like would be good to show people because that's literally a sign on your door saying, hey, by posting this, you know that we have complied with a whole bunch of rules and safety precautions, and we've done all of these 5 things. We are taking your health into serious consideration. So that's just one of the ways, you can print and download all these signs as well. This is all available for our members. So that was a way, and I mean, I haven't heard a lot of feedback about this program. I don't know, have you, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, so I think people, I believe they're using it, and I've seen these signs around town, and I've seen other signs around town saying, hey, we're open, come on in. And it's really just for consumer ease and consumer, the feeling that yes, we're not just flinging open our doors and not caring and pretending that coronavirus doesn't exist. We're actually, have a very measured approach to how we're reopening and how we're operating. Like Dylan was saying, wash your hands every 20 minutes. You can't just start operating and then go back to the way it was. You have to do things differently. We all do. We all have to do things very differently than we did before. And I think it's an opportunity to reinvent yourselves. I know some of these things are maybe going to go away for you guys, especially the restaurants. You hopefully, once there's a vaccine, you won't have to have your employees wash their hands every 20 minutes, but for some of us,
I wouldn't get that crazy. I wouldn't get that crazy. I want everyone to make sure they're clean all the time.
Right, but I'm saying, you might not have to do every single thing that you're doing during this time. I don't know, but it's
The one,
great practice though.
Is
the
there a
one thing,
general feeling about mask wearing among the retail businesses? Have you had any feedback?
I think most people we've seen most people that come in our doors, and I've seen most people out when I've been out and about are wearing masks. And I
Okay.
think they expect to see employees and store owners and other people. I think they expect to see masks.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. What was that, Dylan? I think I heard you saying.
I apologize. The one thing I was wondering is, do you guys have, for CL, do we have a max capacity for retail, and then also for like restaurants? Is there like a percentage, as in like 50 to 25% people max capacity? Like, do we have anything right now for CL, like a city ordinance? Or
I don't know, Nick. I don't think there. I'll let Nick speak to that a
are
little
we
bit more.
are we just following Illinois' guideline?
So right now, we're just following Illinois guidelines.
Okay.
And then I believe the plan is to revisit that in a week or two, and see if there's an uptick in cases, and then maybe have to put some stricter guidelines in place.
Okay.
But for right now, we're following Illinois, which doesn't place a specific cap on a restaurant.
That's today. That was kind of like my main goal of figuring out exactly what the capacity could be for my restaurant.
Sure.
And my chef/owner wants to know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, like I would still, like I said before, I want to run under 50%. I want everyone to be like spaced out on everything. Like, I don't want to endanger the town or anything. I'd rather have my restaurant to be. It sounds bad saying, but like I want my restaurant to be just safe. That's it.
Yeah.
From a consumer point of view, though, as I've just indicated, I'm looking to spend money because I haven't been able to, but and eating out is definitely among that. I would say, I've been I feel leery when I walk into stores that are crowded or bigger stores. So I've been
Exactly.
targeting
Yeah.
the smaller stores. I've been targeting the smaller restaurants, the restaurants that, maybe I have to wait to sit at or make a reservation to sit at because they're only, like you said, Dylan, operating at a lower capacity, but it makes me feel better.
Safer. Yeah, as long as
safer.
And that's the exact thing that I want to implement. I want everyone to I want the town to feel safe. This is my biggest thing. Like, I lived here my whole life, so like
That's very cool.
I want everyone to just feel welcomed and safe at my restaurant. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen though, Dylan. It sounds like you guys have taken a lot of great steps and precautions, and you will continue to do those things while you have your customers there. So I think you definitely have the right approach. And it takes a lot of extra work, but if it'll keep, because what we all need, but especially restaurants, you need those returning customers, right? So if they have a good experience that feels safe,
Right.
and the next time they're going to think, oh, where should we, you know what? Mookie's was really great. It wasn't crowded, the food was great. So yeah, let's maybe go back there, So yeah, I've been kind of targeting smaller places, and I've only been, out, like for dinner a few times. And one of the places that we went to was extremely crowded, and I did not feel very comfortable. We got a drink, we made a beeline for the waiting for the table, and then we like had to go through the super crowded bar where it didn't seem like coronavirus even existed. And then we went straight upstairs to eat, and we were all separated, and we did not stay there. We ate our food and we left because we just didn't feel comfortable at all. And then we went to another establishment in town here. Went to Crystal Lake Brewing for a drink, and that was very nice. It was all outdoors, spaced out. The employees were wearing masks. Everything was, not touched. So that, it was just, okay, you know, you can have a drink and just kind of, we finally were kind of unwind from the super crowded place that we just went to. So, yeah, it's important. So, yeah, so let's go back to.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? This is Katie from Achieve Footwear. I've been on mute because I'm driving.
Hi, Katie.
I just wanted to jump in because I am a retail owner and I've been listening to the chat. So I'll really quick, just if you would let me just kind of respond to being open the entire time. I am for essentials, but I also am open now to the public. As far as when she said about the masks, well, the young seem to not want to wear masks, but they have to wear them. You have the baby boomers who are concerned that they are wearing them because they go home to their parents. So we are getting the traffic because we are essential. And the fact is, too, because people need footwear, they're burning through their shoes. And now we got our sandals and the weather's coming. So we did make our distance within the store. Like I said, we used the new pen, the used pen cup. You just, like with the restaurant, the people will come. I'm a great cook, but I'm going to tell you, I'm sick of cooking. So it's comfort food. So the restaurants are comforting. You have to make it comfortable. There's no question, but you got to get them in and out. Because the more they stand there and hang out, the more I feel uncomfortable going to a restaurant because they're just there to hang out. You can't let the customer hang out. Same thing within my retail store. They come into a station, an area, in and out. What do you want? Have you shopped here before? We look at their shoe size. If not, then we throw down the brand card. We stay our distance and make them feel comfortable to walk around the store. They have to have masks. Yes, we have issues with people getting on the Facebook saying they don't want to wear a mask. Well, then you know what? No shoes, no shirts, no mask, no service, period.
Yep.
I have to think of the safety for my employees and for the customers that are coming in. The seniors are starting to come out through the phase just because they've literally been locked up for over 100 days. I'll tell you, 100 days is enough. So they're wearing their mask, but when they come in, they definitely look around and they totally are looking because they get it because they're the ones that are susceptible to getting it. So then we put them in their space or they'll call in their car and say, hey, I'm out in the parking lot. I've actually set up a table and chairs outside on my front steps for moms who have children that the kids won't wear the masks. I allow them to pull up to the front. They can see their kids in the car and I service them right there on the sidewalk. You just got to respond to the consumer. It's the consumer. So you lose the consumer, you don't get the business. So you just have to keep your own business. You have to keep your eyes open and look at all four corners of what's going on in the store. And maybe you think you're doing the best, but you'll know the reaction from your customers. Again, the restaurant business, they're hanging out too much. The drive-thru say, hey, we could just buy our ice cream and sit and hang in the parking lot. Well, next thing you know, you've got 100 cars in the parking lot. That's unacceptable. So you just have to watch. Same thing with my store. When he says the capacity, well, everyone in the villages, you have a capacity on your lease and within the square footage. So just go by the state of Illinois capacity, reduce it to what they're stating. It's like I think my store holds 186 people on one side, so the capacity is 25%. Not that I'd ever have that many in there, but well, maybe a mixer. But my point is, you just have to go by the comfort zone, not so much always by the number of what the state of Illinois is saying. You'll know if the restaurant, when their waitress is going around too close, they're butting in. Just watch the consumer, because like you just said, hey, when I went to Duke's, I felt very comfortable. See, like what you're talking, that's what other people say. I didn't feel comfortable going to the one. You're absolutely correct. You have to walk through the bar. That's a no-go. Anyway, I just wanted to share that really quick. That you have your people that, again, in and out. Don't talk politics. Don't talk religion. Don't talk protesting. You don't talk any of that. You just say, what's your shoe size? Or like the menu, what would you like? And if there are people at the table are talking, you just, hey, bring them their food and get them in and out. Check them in and check them out.
Yeah.
So we made it very clear.
Yeah, you have to meet the consumer kind of where they're at, and every consumer is going to be a little bit different. So it's definitely helping us all become more emotionally intelligent. You definitely have to pay extra attention to be more sensitive to each of the consumers because yeah, just their age will determine what their anxiety level might be. I mean, that's a great point, because the seniors essentially we have a lot of seniors that come to the chamber office here for information, and they're starting to come out a little bit more and visit and ask questions and so on. But we've completely revamped how we operate too. So we used to have everything available. I'm going to show you kind of pictures of how we're doing this now. We used to, for those of you who've been in the chamber office, we had all the business cards out, all the flyers out. It was basically like a resource library in the front. So we don't do that anymore. What we have done is we have put these signs up, and basically you can't touch the material anymore like you used to be able to just come in and grab whatever you wanted. What we're doing is we're having just one business card each. And if you want more information, then you can ask for it and we will be happy to get it for you. But we're not just letting people handle everything. We have these little signs everywhere. You guys can see those, right? And then we have big hand sanitizer, the wipes. We have the do your part, basically, wear a mask, wash your hands. We also have the plexiglass set up at the front station where Donna sits. So, it's definitely, we are utilizing all the masks as well. And then, of course, the compliance sign we have as well.
Quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Real quick,
No, that's okay.
I was just touching base on the fact of just like timing for within a restaurant. I was wondering, does the city have an ordinance for like timing on like how long a person can sit?
Oh, I don't know. I think Nick's doing a search right now. I don't know.
Illinois, I know it's for what we've received for restaurants and bars, it's 90 minutes. So just an hour and 30.
Okay.
But I wanted to see if Crystal Lake might have had something that'd be different.
Yeah,
If Crystal Lake does,
yeah, I'll let you know, but I don't think that we've heard anything yet. But we certainly can look into that for you.
Thank you. If anything, I could just give you my email so that way you can just contact me that way later in the future.
Yeah, and for any kind of direct questions about city ordinances, I would definitely direct you to the city to contact them directly.
Thank you.
Because while we partner with the city and we function along with them in many things, we are a complete separate entity than the city. We actually, we're not part of the city as far as the government and the decisions and the ordinances, but we partner with the city. So
completely understand it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I missed that. What restaurant do you own?
I'm sorry?
I missed that. What restaurant do you own? I missed that.
Mookie's Steak and Seafood off Route 14.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right. So we just have a few more minutes left. So are there any other questions or concerns or things and ways that you guys can see that the chamber might be able to support you in ways that we haven't thought of yet, or gaps in some of our support? Because we're always open to improvements. So is there anything that you guys, and maybe not even just us, do you guys have needs that are not being met right now by the city or by any of the government? I mean, anything that we can because we're connecting everybody here.
So one of the things that we have been thinking about at our firm and kind of mulling over in our brains is the use of, some sort of initiative or maybe a charity function that can drive business into small businesses in the community. I hadn't really seen anything like that on the Chamber's website or heard anything about it today. But one of the things that I had heard from a different source was that, there was a law firm that decided to put towards $5,000 to try and help drive business into the small communities. And the way that they did it is if you bought a $100 gift card from any of the small stores in the community, that the firm would match the $100 up to $5,000. And so if we were to decide to do something along that nature, is that something you guys could help us out organize and spread it throughout the community?
Yes, that is definitely something we could definitely help and support for sure. Yeah, and that's a great way to kind of utilize the chamber because we have so many contacts and so many connections that, I mean, our weekly What You Need to Know email is open by, is it sent to 1,700 people? Yeah, and we have what percentage is our open rate right now?
About 35 to 40%.
Yeah, about 40% open rate on this email, which is amazing because we don't bombard people with emails. We really try to be very selective and careful about what we are emailing because we all have email overload and Zoom overload. So, we try to be selective. But yes, that is something we definitely could help you and support. So we have had programs throughout this that have tried to funnel people into small businesses. We actually, myself and many other chambers throughout the state, we had, let me see if I could look it up. We had a I Love Local program that I was on the task force for that, and we had that running, gosh, it was probably in April or May, I can't remember now, but it was basically a way to drive traffic to this, mainly the small businesses. I'm just trying to figure out where, oh, my can you look that up? It's the I Love Local program. Any of my icon on my signature will have the link to it, and that way, yeah, so that's a program that we had started. It was run through I think it was IACCE. I'm gonna see if we could, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is a program where the chambers in the state, so I've been on many calls throughout, national calls with chambers all over the nation, especially in March and April, on how to figure out how to help the members, how to help businesses, so on and so forth. And we came up with this program on how to help drive business into smaller businesses. And so this was in April, and it was a week-long program. And this was all the chambers. I was one of the people that was on the task force that did the marketing, did the logo, did everything. But look at all these chambers that were involved. And we put it out to every chamber in the whole state and said, how do we help our small businesses get involved with this? Now, again, it may have been a little bit, the timing may have been a little early, but we were trying to drive people not physically necessarily into the businesses, but into virtual spending money and supporting and ordering things online. Because we knew that people were going to be suffering. This is a program we've talked about, the task force, we've discussed doing this every maybe 6 months or a few times a year. We don't know. It's a brand new program that we just came up with. But yeah, this is just one example of kind of how we've driven traffic, trying to drive traffic to the small businesses, but in a more virtual way instead of physical. Yeah. But yeah, that would be great. I would love to hear more about that and see how we can support you and support the businesses.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Anything else that anyone else wants to add? It's 10:30 now, so I want to make sure we end on time. No? Okay, well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate your time, and I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. And if you need any other support or help, let me know. We are here to help you. So hopefully we'll
Thanks,
see you
Lisa.
soon.
Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Nick.
Take care. Stay
Have a
healthy.
great day. Stay safe. Wear your masks.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.